When play becomes nene, a young lady loses her life to the one she loves. Today, we'll be looking at the tragic death of Shonette Dover, a 21-year-old Londoner who was just starting her life. In the bustling town of Linden, Guyana, there always seemed to be something to celebrate. And there lived a young lady by the name of Shonette Dover. So this story we'll be looking at is a very recent one. It happened this year, April. And it began on the 3rd of April when Shonette was on the road with a female. At this time, we still don't know who that female was. But she was walking with this female and she came upon her brother. And then she asked him for a raise. You know when you see people, you see your friend, you say, please a little raise now. And her brother gave her a $2,000. And that would be the last time that anyone had ever seen Shonette. Because it was on the Monday following that she would be reported missing. Shonette, she was in this 3-year relationship with this young man by the name of Shaquan Allen. And from the outside looking in, everything seemed to be perfect. They were just happy, they were enjoying each other's company, and they were actually living together at the time of her disappearance. Her 15-year-old sister had also been living with them. According to her boyfriend, he stated that prior to her disappearance, they actually had no issues. There was nothing wrong. Everything was perfect. There wasn't any story between her and him or between her and her sister. There were actually no problems. But we will realize that things are never as they seem. Because according to Shaquan, a couple of days before her disappearance, he actually saw a name pop up on her phone. Like the person was calling her, some guy was calling her. And when he asked her, okay, who is this? She was like, please mind your business. She didn't say it like that, but she was telling him that's not his business, to stay out of it. And so he said, okay. According to him, he just left it as it is. And he also stated that there was some fancy car that was dropping her home a couple of nights from work. And maybe this person has something to do with her disappearance. So the person that would know most about Shonette's daily activity would be the person she's living with, which is Shaquan. And according to him, on the day that she was last seen, she woke up and she made breakfast. He ate breakfast and everything was good. There was no argument, there was no dispute, there was nothing going on. It was just a normal day. He then left home and he went to deliver some crutches to someone who had an accident. So he was doing a good duty, Angels all around. He left and he went to deliver these crutches, and after he did that, he actually went by his aunt and he spent the day with his family. So most of the day he wasn't anywhere close to her. But when he got back home after spending time with his family, her sister was home alone, and so he asked her, where's Shonette? And she told him that, well, Shonette already left to go to work. And Shonette was a bartender, so she would be gone mostly in the afternoons, in the night. According to the sister, she left and she was at work. He thought nothing of it, so he took the sister to another sister's residence. Keep up with me, yes. He took Shonette's sister that was living with them, the 15-year-old, to another one of Shonette's sister's home, and that's where that sister was late that evening. When he got back home after the party, he would reach back home late. He realized Shonette still ain't come home. Like, where is she? The keys were still the same place where he left it, so that's how he knew that she did not return home. But he didn't take nothing of it, because the last time that she actually didn't come home was when she spent the night by her mother. So he just thought that she was by her mother and he went to sleep. He didn't contact her or anything. He just left her to spend the night by her mother and he went to sleep. Now it's the next day. He woke up and Shonette didn't send him any message. She didn't try calling him, so he decided to call her to see, to just check in and see what she was doing. But the phone went to voicemail. And it kept going to voicemail. He decided, the best thing for him to do is to go by the mother's house and just pick her up or just see her. But when he got there and he asked for Shonette, they said Shonette wasn't there and Shonette didn't even spend the night there. And so, where's Shonette? His heart sunk when he heard that she wasn't there and she hadn't spent the night there. But he knew that somebody had to know something. So he kept calling her friends, and phone call after phone call after phone call. the answer was still the same. No one had seen her. No one knew where she was. The only person who could positively say that he saw Shonette was her brother, who, she asked for the raise the day before. And the brother said he saw her with a girl, but he didn't know who the girl was. So the Monday after, the family decided, along with Shaquan, that they would go to the police station and make a report of a missing person. So while they were actually at the police station making this missing persons report, Shonette's sister revealed a secret. She stated that Shonette was actually seeing someone else behind Shaquan's back. And this was a shock to Shaquan because he didn't know that Shonette was seeing somebody. He thought that she was faithful. He thought that they were in a committed relationship. And so he could not understand. Like, he couldn't believe this. So the sister had stated that, yeah, somebody was actually coming and picking her up. They were meeting by her other sister's residence, and they were spending time together when Shaquan was not around. And she actually stated the name of this person. But the person's name was stated, but it was actually redacted from police reports because at the end it was found that this person had nothing to do with her disappearance. And the name that Shonette's sister called was actually the same name that Shaquan had seen on her phone prior to her disappearance. So one thing that I have not mentioned is that according to Shonette's cousin, Shonette was actually planning on leaving Shaquan. She was planning on getting rid of just ending the relationship and moving back home with her grandmother because she was so tired of Shaquan cheating on her. So yeah, Shaquan was actually cheating on Shonette. But the cousin stated that she was actually the only person who knew this, that Shonette didn't tell anybody else because she just wanted to keep it secret until she got up and got out of the relationship. But she stated that, Shonette never told her whether he was abusive or not. So we don't know whether he had actually been beating her or been verbally abusive. There's so many different types of abuse. So we have no idea if he was actually being abusive towards her. So with this new information that Shonette might have been cheating on Shaquan, could this other person be responsible for her disappearance? Could Shaquan have found out that she was seeing somebody else and been angered and done something to her that caused her to disappear? Or could she just have ran away with this person and be laying low right now? Like, what could have happened to Shonette? But according to Shaquan, even if Shonette knew that he was cheating on her, they had this problem before and she did move out, but she had moved back in after they reconciled. So he had hope that if the problem was that he was cheating, that she wouldn't just disappear. She would still come and they would fix the problem and then they would stay together. So it was weeks and the family was searching. The family was pleading with the public. The family was begging anybody who knew any information to just come forward. And Shaquan was just pleading with people. He was making multiple Facebook posts, just begging for Shonette to just return, to just come back to him, begging for people, if whoever had any information, to just say something and not keep it silent, because he was so in love with her and her family just wanted her back home.
Came home back, realized that Shonette is not home, what's not, so I tried calling her phone, voicemail, messaging, 1 star. So I went by the mother, because anytime she go anywhere, she sleep out and everything. She's likely to go by, she mother don't sleep, she don't go nowhere else. I went by the mother said she didn't see Shonette. So right away, to start bringing questions to me. So I start calling the friends, I call your father, I call your brother, the rest of cousins, everybody. Nobody said they didn't see Shonette, nobody knows Shonette there. So we just asked the public, everybody could come out and lend a hand so we could move forward with this and at least find her.
That people were just begging for any information and no one knew anything. No one came forward. That was until Thursday, 29th of April 2021, when someone would walk into the police station and confess to what happened to Shonette Dover. In the presence of a child care and protection officer, the 15-year-old sister of Shonette Dover told the police exactly what happened to her older sister. According to police reports, the teen stated that Shaquan was at home oiling his gun, and after cleaning it, he pointed it at Shonette, and she said, "You like play? Put the thing away." And then she heard a squib-like sound, which was the gun going off, and she heard Shaquan say, "Oh shoots, I kill she." Like I try to keep my 2 cents out of it, out of these stories, but like shooting another person, somebody that you claim to love, and then saying, "Oh shoots, I kill she." Like I don't even know what tone you would say that. Certain things like I just can't understand. The teen said when she looked at her sister, her mouth was open and there was blood on her face. She demanded that they take her sister to the hospital, but Shaquan insisted that she was already dead and that they would get in trouble if they took her to the hospital or if anybody knew what happened. So what did he do next? He went to his father and shot Shonette. And the father said, "Don't talk stupidness. Why are you playing with a gun?" But did the father do anything that would actually help the situation? No. He took over and he helped his son bury Shonette in their backyard, 4 feet underground. Now the sister was also a part of disposing of Shonette's body, and she would later be charged as an accomplice. So after burying Shonette, this is when the trio, Shaquan, his father, and Shonette's sister, decided that they would report her missing. Now between Shonette actually dying and the sister coming forward and stating what happened to Shonette, it was actually almost 30 days. And a lot of people can't understand, like, what kind of sister would let her older sister just die and not do anything about it, not say anything about it. But a lot of persons are also saying that you have to understand, in a traumatic event, different persons react differently. So like, you don't know whether to blame her, but she's also mourning the loss of her sister. And she also stated that Shaquan actually threatened her and told her what would happen if she told anybody. So I guess fear also had a big impact on why she took so long to say something. But what we can do is thank the Lord that, she actually came forward and eventually said something, because Shonette's family could have gone the rest of their lives thinking that she just disappeared off of the face of the earth. They might have never had the opportunity to lay her to rest. So that's the only thankful thing. That's the only thing that we could be thankful for, that the sister took the time and actually confessed to what happened so that Shonette could be brought home to her family.
So after filming the video, I came across some additional information, and according to Shonette's father, it's impossible for her brother to have seen her on the 3rd of April because the clothes that she was actually found in is clothes that she would have been wearing if she was at home relaxing. And when the coroner found the time of death, it was said that she died on the 2nd of April, which was the Friday.
So as I stated, Shonette's sister would be charged in May as an accessory to murder. So what charges do you think that Shaquan got? 1st-degree murder, 2nd-degree murder, homicide, what? At this point, we have no idea, because he has been on the run since the truth came out. And there are some that are alleging that he got help from some family or someone to escape to French Guyana, but we do not know. So if you or anyone you know has any information regarding the whereabouts of Shaquan Allen, please call any of the numbers on the screen. She needs justice. Shonette died in cold blood. She needs her killer brought to justice so that she can actually rest in peace. Whether it was an accident or planned, Shaquan needs to face the charges for taking her life. Until he is brought to justice, let us never forget her name, Shonette Dover.